drop.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chair Shots to the Cranium. This is our final prediction show of the year, and we're really excited about this. We have the trophy on the line, we got our bet on the line, and we'll go over that again just so everybody is aware or remembers what is on the line for this. And I'm really excited about it. I am joined by my co-host, the one and only Addison. What's up?
The sky.
The sky?
The sky
for
is
real.
up.
For real. That is news for me. Thank you for informing me of that.
Welcome.
All right, so now we got all the smarty pants comments out of the way. How you been doing?
I'm good.
Good.
So far.
So far?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The week's half over.
Yeah, it is half over, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think? What are you thinking? What do you think your chances? This is the final. This is it right here. This is for all the marbles. What are you thinking? Like your chances?
I don't think I am going to, but I really don't want to jinx myself, so I'm just going to knock on the wood here right now.
Okay, all right.
Because I don't know if I'm going to win or not. You never know. You can't predict it.
You can't.
Well,
No.
great for you.
Yep.
but-
No, you can't predict it, but you gotta have a little bit. You gotta walk into this thing with a little bit of swag, you know, a little bit of,
Yeah, I know, yeah. I just got to trust my instincts.
You do. That's all you can do. So, our overall record right now is Addison has 78 wins and 45 losses. I have 80 wins and 43 losses. So, you know, I'm hanging on to that 2-match advantage. We both went a dismal 2-5 in the Survivor Series predictions.
Yeah.
So anything can happen here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to predict 6 matches. These are the 6 matches that we know for sure. Now, we know that there's going to be more added. And what we're going to do on those matches that are added is we'll then predict those and post them up on social media for everybody to see. And, of course, that will affect the overall record more so than just the 6 matches. So I'm hoping that they do add more. They should. I'm thinking at least 2 more matches.
Yeah.
At least. But again, check social media, Facebook, Twitter, and on Facebook, Chair the number 2 Cranium, Chair 2 Cranium, to find out what those additional picks will be.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So before we get into this, another reminder, we've got a really sweet trophy we're playing for. I will have a picture up of that this week, I promise. And then also the bet was that if you win this whole thing, I've got to take you to the spa for a nail and toe treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And if I win, I get to pick where we eat dinner. Now, I know that sounds really odd or strange to some of you, but it's not to me because I never get to pick where we're eating. Anytime we go out to eat, it's always about where you or your mom want to go eat most of the time. I never get to choose that, so I kind of go along with it. And so I get to pick it.
All right, then.
That's a lot to me. I'm really excited about that.
You want to go eat at Golden Corral.
Hey, Golden Corral is the bomb. Golden Corral.
I don't mind it.
Golden Corral's awesome.
I don't mind that.
So, yeah, that's a great idea. I think I may
Please don't.
I may choose that. I don't know. We'll see. Got to win it first. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's start with the first match that we're going to predict, and that is Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. Now, Addison and myself were at Raw this past Monday, and if you are watching, when I watch the replay of Raw, you can see us a good bit on there. We were kind of in the background a little bit, and so I caught us several times on there.
Yes.
And Aleister Black had another fantastic match on Raw. He's one of my favorite. If you have not latched on to Aleister Black, his in-ring skills, you need to do so because he is, in my opinion, one of the best out there right now. I love him. I love the character.
Good.
He's very good.
Yes.
The music's fantastic. His in-ring skills are even better. I love it. So, who are you going to go with on this one?
Like I said, like he said, we went to Raw and we saw Aleister Black.
And we saw Buddy Murphy. I forgot to add that.
Yeah, we saw Buddy Murphy.
Yep.
And they were both really, really good. Like, I think they're both phenomenal wrestlers. But, like he said, Aleister Black is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, who did he go against when we were there?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Was it somebody new or
something? Good question. I don't remember.
No, that was I
don't remember. I don't remember who his match was. With. I forgot.
Well, anyways, he was very, very good, and obviously he won because obviously he's great. But he's very, really good, and I think I'm going to go with him.
So you're going with Aleister Black?
Yes.
All right. I am actually, as much as I love Aleister Black, I'm going to go with an upset here. I'm going with Buddy Murphy.
Really?
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I really, really hope that does not happen. But I have a really, can I use the word really any more than that? Okay, I have a bad feeling he is going to end up winning this match. And I say that because I think that Buddy Murphy is also a tremendous talent. Yeah. And he needs that token victory, that victory that really gives him some exposure, gives him some push. And what better person to get that against than Aleister Black? Again, I hope I'm wrong. I don't hope I'm wrong from the standpoint of our predictions, but I hope I'm wrong from the standpoint of being a fan of Aleister Black.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Buddy Murphy.
Okay. Okay, the next match is a tables match, including Rusev versus Bobby Lashley. And beside Bobby Lashley will be Lana. Wow, I literally can't stand the storyline any longer.
Yeah.
I literally just want it to be over with. Like, it's like the most boring storyline ever.
Yeah, it is. And if you listen to my last podcast, I expanded on this. I talked about my disapproval for it. I think it's been done 100 times over in the history of professional wrestling with this love triangle between the three of them. I'm ready for it to be over with, ready for it to end. It's extremely non-entertaining to me, and I could care less about it.
When we were at the show on Monday, I promise you, I probably gave a thumbs down for that one to Lana. This is an estimate. Probably about 35 times or something?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were. You weren't the only one there. She was catching a lot of boos. I will say this, and I was a real hard critic of Lana's in my last podcast, how annoying she is. She did a really good job in her role in that particular skit. I thought she did well. I was actually a fan of Rusev in that as well.
Oh yeah.
I really like seeing his personality come out a little bit more. Loved the Donald Duck T-shirt he was wearing in the ring. Thought that was pretty cool, pretty creative.
Yeah.
But I really liked his personality. Yeah. I was very impressed by that. So I'm really excited and anxious to see where things go from here, especially with Rusev. So who do you have in this one?
I really want to say Bobby Lashley, but I really don't. I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
But just because I think I am going to say Bobby Lashley.
Okay. So Bobby Lashley's taking the victory here.
That's going on a limb.
It is going on a limb. I see that and I wavered back and forth on this one. Up until I'd say earlier today, I was actually going to pick Bobby Lashley, and then I changed my pick to Rusev just because I feel like this thing's going to finally come to an end, and all the crap that Rusev has had to go through with putting up with Lana and the restraining orders. I think this is finally the time we're going to see Rusev get the last laugh. So right. I think Rusev is going to be your winner. The next match is a SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The champions, The New Day versus The Revival. Another match I'm looking forward to. As all of you know, I'm a big fan of The Revival. I think their in-ring work is exceptional, and I am actually going to go with The Revival winning this match. I think they're going to take the SmackDown Tag Team Championships away from The New Day. Who do you think?
I think the same also because I haven't seen The Revival in person wrestle, but I just from what you've said in the past, they're really good, really good.
Yeah.
So I think the New Day's kind of lacking a little bit, their moves and stuff. I don't know. I don't want to say signature, but I want to say some of their good signature quote signature moves, moves that put people out and make them win.
So you're telling me that their in-ring ability has
kind of lacked.
It's declined.
Yes.
All right.
So I think that's why the Revival will win.
Okay. I think they're missing a little bit without Xavier Woods there, personally, as well. I think that Xavier was that added distraction whenever he was at ringside, or that added motivation, however you want to look at it, distraction for their opponent, I mean, and the added motivation for the New Day. So I think that's definitely going to be affect things somewhat in this match, especially with the Revival. So we both agree on that one. We are both going with the Revival.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, the next match is a tables, ladders, and chairs match, including Roman Reigns versus King Corbin.
Okay.
This match is going to be, I think, pretty intense.
All right.
Especially from SmackDown when King Corbin and Dolph Ziggler covered Roman Reigns in dog food. I thought that was really disgusting.
It was really disgusting, but really entertaining.
Yeah.
And I said that again in my last podcast. I thought it was a tremendous idea, and it was a great heel move by those two guys to get that true heel heat that they need.
Yeah.
And it gains sympathy for Roman Reigns. I mean, who's not going to feel bad for a guy getting covered in nasty, disgusting dog food? And who's not going to just absolutely despise two guys that are covering him in it?
Right.
And I thought it was a genius move to do that. King Corbin has come into his own. He has finally found his niche. He has enveloped this king role in a superb way, and I like everything about him. His mic skills have gotten way better.
You can just tell that he wants to be there.
It's just a heightened version of who he is.
Yeah, it's improved a lot.
Absolutely. It's taken his personality and amped it up times 5 or 10, and that's how you get a good character. It's taking who they really are and expanding upon that, just amping it up a little bit.
Yes.
That's what made Stone Cold so good. That's who he is. It was just turned up several volumes. Same thing with The Rock. King Corbin, I'm really entertained by King Corbin. I like him. And as you know, and I say this in my last podcast, we were his worst critics.
Yes.
I couldn't stand the guy.
But at least he's not wearing little button-up shirts and khakis.
Right.
He's not an Applebee's manager as much anymore.
He's not. And if you watch the last episode of Backstage, he did a really good job there. You kind of got a feel for who he was as a person.
Yes.
And how much he loves being a heel. If you have not watched that latest episode, I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to watch all episodes of Backstage on FS1. It's an extremely entertaining show. All right, back to our predictions. Tables, ladders, and chairs match between Reigns and Corbin. Who you got?
As much as I think King Corbin's gotten a lot better with his wrestling and his mic skills and all that, and his acting, I'm just gonna say Roman Reigns because I personally would be so upset if somebody covered me in dog food.
Oh, I would too, and
that's just disgusting.
So you think that Reigns is gonna he's ticked?
Yeah.
And he's coming with everything he's got.
Right.
And he's gonna take the victory.
Yes, and hopefully he doesn't get covered in cat food or something.
I would hope not. All right, so you're going Roman Reigns. I am actually going to go with King Corbin here because I think that King Corbin, again, has come into his own with his character. I think he's got great momentum right now with his character, and I would love to see that continue, and a victory over Roman Reigns would certainly do that. You could tell they both had friction during the Survivor Series. This is what's built up to this. I really love how this storyline has built up and continued to advance and gain more credibility in my opinion.
Yes.
By especially with the dog food incident. So I'm going to go with King Corbin taking the victory over Roman Reigns, continuing to elevate his status on that SmackDown roster.
All right then. The next match is for the Women's Tag Team Championships, the Kabuki Warriors versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. This is a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Let me tell you something before we jump into this, not to interrupt, but at Raw, I thought the Kairi Sane elbow off the top rope through the table onto Becky Lynch was outstanding. I absolutely love that elbow. There's only one other person in this industry who has delivered a better elbow off the top rope, and that's the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Kairi Sane is a close second.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever watch Macho Man's elbows, when he leads with his body off the top rope, when he drives that elbow into him, that lean of the body makes it look even better and even more intense. Nobody else could do that as good as the Macho Man. Kairi Sane is really close, and she kind of cocks that elbow in midstream through the air, and then leads with the body a little bit, and then wham, she nails it. That one through the table was fantastic. I loved it.
Especially with the pad on her elbow. I bet that hurt so bad.
Yeah, so she does a really good job of that.
Yes.
So I had to throw that in. Who do you have on this one?
I'm gonna go with the Kabuki Warriors just because the type of thing that they spray in their mouth, which I'm kind of like processing in my brain.
When Asuka does that.
Yeah. How she does it. Does she put something in her mouth? Does she already have it in her mouth? Does she bust something in her mouth to activate it, to blow it out? That's what's confusing me. I'm going to have to watch.
It's an art.
Watch for that.
It's an art. She does it beautifully.
But I think that type of, like, what is it called?
The mist.
The mist that they're going to blow, I think is going to just blind them. Maybe they'll both do it. Huh?
Nah, I don't think Kairi Sane's going to do that. I think that's definitely Asuka's thing. I think Kairi stays away from that and lets Asuka do what she does best on that. So you think the spray of the mist into the eyes of Becky or Charlotte's going to be the thing that brings them the victory?
Yes.
All right. So I'm actually going to go with the Kabuki Warriors as well. I like them. I like where they're going. I don't see Becky and Charlotte having the tag titles right now. I personally don't want to see it. I like the fact that the Kabuki Warriors are a true tag team right now, and I've done a really good job defending them. I want them to win this match. I think they can win the match. I'm going with the Kabuki Warriors as well.
All right.
That brings us to the last match that we are predicting, and that would be Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. This is a non-title match. I don't like that.
I don't either.
I wanted this to be a title match.
I feel like it'd be much more interesting if it was a title match.
Far more interesting if it was a title match.
Yes.
Don't know why they made this a non-title match, but whatevs. All right, Bray Wyatt. Like the fact that Bray Wyatt is coming out as his true self. Curious to see what sort of in-ring persona he shows us in this match. Is he going to come out with the sweater on? I don't know. Maybe he comes out in his old great Bray Wyatt gear. I'm not sure.
I just have to put this in real quick. The idea of this whole, like, the Miz and Mrs. that the Miz and
The Fiend and Mrs.
Yeah, the Fiend and Mrs. That's a hilarious idea.
It's hilarious.
I think it's brilliant. I think that it's going to bring so many viewers into this whole match. And I think it's just going to make it so much more interesting, even if it's not a title match. So that's why I think that Bray Wyatt's going to win.
Bray Wyatt will be your winner.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so I've struggled with this one. I got to be honest with you. I've had a hard time picking who I think is going to win this because I thought it was going to be a title match. And that being said, I was going to say that Bray Wyatt would retain the title because for some crazy reason, WWE doesn't feel that The Miz needs to be champion. I think he does. I think it's time. Listen to my last podcast. You'll hear what I said on that. So, I'm actually going to go with The Miz taking the victory here. I think The Miz, because it's a non-title match, will win and beat Bray Wyatt.
Okay. That's an interesting response.
Well, I'm a fan of The Miz. I like The Miz. I've made that very vocal. And I hate to say it, but if it was a title match, I was going to have to go with Bray Wyatt. Just because, we haven't seen The Miz get that championship run that I think he very much deserves. So because it's a non-title match, I am going with The Miz.
All right.
All right, so that does it. Those are our predictions. And again, as a reminder, they will have more matches announced, probably after Friday Night SmackDown. And when that happens, we will post our predictions for those matches on social media. Find us at Chair 2 Cranium, Chair 2 Cranium on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button, whatever. We need your support. So go subscribe to us. Give us a 5-star rating. It is tremendously appreciated. We get tons more exposure. The more ratings we get, the more ears that will listen to Cheers Shots to the Cranium. We cannot thank you enough for hitting that play button wherever you are. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. Be sure to check back on our social media page for the results of this pay-per-view to find out who is going to win this year-long battle between myself and Addison. And it's something else to point out here. Do you realize that this is the last pay-per-view of the decade?
That is so hard to think about.
It is hard to think about, but it is the last pay-per-view of the decade. The next time you hear our voices predicting a pay-per-view, it will be 2020. A new decade has begun.
I don't like that.
It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for taking another chair shot to the cranium.
Adios.